Hello and welcome back to Atypical Wealth, where I teach you how to build wealth using your home. Today we're diving into one of my favorite cities in the South Bay. We're talking all about Carson and why it's great, the good, the bad, the ugly, and mostly just good because Carson's awesome. We're going to dive into a full report card on Carson, and I'm going to tell you where they're lying and where they're telling the truth. Okay, we'll walk through it step by step, and then I'll walk you through some home data about Carson to show you how affordable, or maybe to some unaffordable, it might be to live there. Carson is a city I know and love dearly, but it might not be for everybody. So stay tuned, find out if it's right for you. We'll dive right into the report card first. Okay, we're gonna start by looking at the niche report card, and I'm gonna tell you where they have it right and where they have it just a little bit wrong, in my opinion, right? All right, so starting off with the public schools, you are in LA Unified. As a former LA Unified School District teacher, I can tell you, it's not the best schools all around, but there are some that are excellent compared to others. And I will tell you right now, Carson has some excellent schools with amazing STEM programs. Science, math, technology. I mean, it's in Carson. There is a lot of opportunity there. So that B-, okay, arbitrary, but there's so much opportunity there, especially if you have a kid interested in specific fields. Housing, D+, that's about what you could expect. The average cost of a home in Los Angeles is $913,000, somewhere around there. Okay, D+ for that, because the national average, is floating around $370, right? So yeah, it's expensive. We already knew that though. Good for families, B-. It depends on what good is for you. I will say Carson has that good mix of suburbs and city. So for someone like myself, I love the city, but I like to turn down a little bit sometimes too. I like greenery. I like a good park. I like to go outside and not experience a whole lot of people around me and congestion. I feel like Carson is that perfect balance, right? You can get the suburbs, you can get the city. So if that's good for your family, then it could be an A+ for you. Jobs, C+. Now, I couldn't tell you exactly why they gave this rating because there's a lot of job opportunities, especially in the health field in Carson and surrounding areas. And just because Carson is so centrally located, I'll have to tell you, you can pretty much get anywhere you need to within LA County from Carson. Cost of living, C-. And as you know, it's just expensive all around to be here. So yeah. Of course, there's ways to keep the costs down, buying in bulk, going to Sam's Club, going to Costco, and do not sleep on a good food for less. And Carson does have a good one. But cost of living all around is challenging all around LA County. We know that. Outdoor activities, there's plenty of it and the weather to support it. Crime and safety, I know this is a big concern for many of us. So let me scroll down on this one and dig into what a C for crime and safety actually looks like compared to the national average. So let's scroll down a bit. Okay, this is so fun. Assault, murder, rape. Wonderful start to the day. That's sarcasm. I'm sorry. Don't cancel me. All right, look at the national average, guys. When you look at these grades, they can be arbitrary, but let's see what they're actually made of. Assault, it is floating around the national average. It is just slightly above when it comes to other terrible crimes. I mean, it really is lower than the national average in some spaces, and then lower when it comes to robbery as well. So when you see this grade of C, think, okay, it's pretty close to the national average for terrible things that actually happen, right? So that C is arbitrary, but think about your family, think about your lifestyle, think about, what keeps you up at night, and consider that when you're considering moving to a new area. Doesn't really matter where it is. Moving back up to the rest of the report card. Nightlife, they gave it a B, and I'm going to be honest, I really don't know why, because I couldn't say that Carson is known for its nightlife. Now, what I can say is the Dignity Health Sports Park holds events at night, and if that's what they mean, then yes, absolutely, A+ for that. But if you're looking for a nightlife, I just wouldn't move to Carson, California. You would be going to Long Beach. You would be going to LA for most of these nightlife experiences that you might picture when you have a B for a nightlife. Cultural diversity, A plus. Weather, A plus. Those are two things I absolutely agree with 120,000%. The weather is great. You have the breeze from the beach city coming in from Redondo Beach and Long Beach, and you're just not that far away. You don't get as cold as you would if you were like right on the coast, but you're just so close. You are in the South Bay, and you definitely kind of feel that in the air without it being too much. So perfect mild weather there. And then diversity. Carson is one of the most culturally diverse cities you can ask for in LA County. I mean, it's such a tapestry of culture. And I mean, with that comes all the good food, all of the experiences that you would want when you're experiencing a new culture. So, A plus for that. I agree. Health and fitness, much like the rest of LA County, big on health and fitness. I would say areas like Long Beach, or LA City are even bigger as far as opportunities, whether it be group fitness, working out outside, a little bit more scenic in your surrounding cities. But again, with Carson, you're just so close to anything you want to do or anywhere you want to be. Highly recommend. Commute gives it, for a commute, we have a B here. Now, I would agree with that. Again, you're super central, but the idea is, I mean, for me, I don't want to spend more than 30 minutes in a car if I'm going to work at a job. I just don't. Just not how I like to spend my time. So think about your tolerance. I mean, these grades are arbitrary, but it's all about what works for you in the end. Okay, I keep saying that Carson is centrally located, so let me just show you what I mean by that. We'll use Dignity Health Sports Park, our nightlife spot in Carson, as our jumping off point. I'll close that map so we can get a good view. So we're going to use Dignity Health Sports Park as our jumping off point. That's where our Carson nightlife is at, remember? And we'll just start zooming out. And as we do, I'll move my picture here so you can see we're right next to Cal State Dominguez University. And we're going to keep zooming out from there to see surrounding cities. So you can really get a sense of where you are with respect to other Los Angeles cities. Okay, there's a lot happening here. I'm going to turn off the traffic cam so we can see a little better and zoom out just a tad more. All right, now we can see our cities. So we have our Dignity Health Sports Park, and as you can see, Carson is a rather large city, and surrounding you have Compton, East Compton, you have Gardena, Torrance, and if I go down just a little bit, you have Long Beach. Long Beach, really large here. Okay, so again, you are part of this South Bay area, but you're not on the beach. All right, very centrally located. If you need to run up to LA, downtown LA, you just hit this 110 freeway. Depending on the time of day, it could be super, super easy to get there, or it could take you, let's be honest, maybe about 40 minutes, even though it's just not that far away from the heart of downtown. It's really not. So, be mindful of just how much time you prefer to spend on the road. The point here is Carson is super centrally located. You can go where you need to go rather easily if it's not rush hour. You already know how I feel about staying in cars for more than 30 minutes, so know what's best for you. Next, let's go over that hard housing data, that stuff you really want to know about if you're interested in living in any space. When it comes to Carson, they know what they have. Carson has a seller's market still, even with these rising interest rates. I mean, the Carson sellers, they just know what they have, guys. I mean, it's a place that a lot of people want to be, that perfect compromise between city and suburb. Now, currently, we have about 1.5 months of inventory left. And check out the list to sold price, because that tells you that it's a seller's market for the most part. Sellers are getting 99.9% of what they're asking for. Okay, so homes in Carson are moving at list price for the most part. The median sold price of homes, $820,000, and it's gone up over time. And I'll show you how much over the course of 5 years in just a sec. But just to compare, give you some perspective, there's Carson and then there's Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, the average median price is over $900,000. It is cheaper in Carson. So let's show you the home value in Carson over time and how it's changed. It might be a little hard to see here, but that red line you see at the bottom is your USA national average. Ooh, gotta love the good old USA, always trending way below California, but we already knew that. And then we're looking at Carson. That's the blue line here. All right. So as you can see, property values generally trending up for the national average and of course for all of California. But if we look at, let's say 2019 or let's go 2020, and then we look at average value of a home in Carson in 2020 was about $585,000. Let's go up to today. The latest data we have available is from December 2024. We are in the new year, 2025, but we're looking at property values that have tripled. Okay, $788,000 is what we're looking at. Moving right along to December 2024, around there. Of course, we're in a new year, 2025, and things are still trending upwards. We're looking at an increase of about 200,000, over 200,000 in the average value of a property. So things are looking up for Carson, and generally speaking, of course, there's dips in between, but things are looking up for the housing market. Moving right along, I want to show you a little bit more data. Here are some home facts laid out plain to see. You can see how Carson compares to Los Angeles County, compares to California, compares to the USA. All right. So median value and then median price, not the same thing. All right. Keep that in mind. Fun facts about Carson. Your home value is still trending just below all of California average, and you're trending below LA County as a whole. Of course, we're way above the USA as a whole, just cost of living in California. You know how that goes. All right. But looking at the rent to own ratio in Carson, 75% of people are owning their homes, whereas 25% are renting, but keep going. If you go to LA County, we look at that percentage change a lot. So it's just showing that people in Carson are making this city their home. All right. And you can too. If you're interested in looking at homes in Carson or learning more about the city, you know what to do next. Go ahead and talk to me. There it is. That's the gist of what you need to know about Carson, California. But if you really want to get detailed, like talking about your lifestyle, where in Carson you should live, what kind of place is right for you, what is actually affordable within the budget. I mean, these are things that you're going to talk to me about. Okay. So don't be shy. Reach out. I'm local and I'm happy to help. All right. We'll talk soon. See you on the next one.